So some of you through this journey might think it might be a little weird, or maybe you're doing something wrong when it comes to being social, doing things with the family, right? You might think, oh, this isn't normal. Like I can't do anything. What should I be doing? And then you overthink it, right? That might reaffirm that you are a special case and that you'll never recover because it's so intense, and you feel like a bit of a freak. And it kind of mirrors back at you how deep this is, how deep in the hole you are. And it just makes you feel like you're failing constantly and that there's no way you're going to recover. So in this, you get this reminder with everything in this journey. Friends want to hang out. You say no, you got to make excuses. Family judges you. The in-laws judge you. They think you're looking for attention, and your direct family gives you a hard time. They push you. They think they know better. They don't understand what you're going through. They don't believe you, right? So there's all that. For me, when I say in the beginning, I created a bubble, and I couldn't go anywhere. Obviously I couldn't work, right? In the beginning, I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even leave the house. I couldn't talk with friends. I couldn't talk to somebody on the phone for longer than 5 minutes before my voice cut out. So in the beginning, when I say I had to create a bubble, this is a big fucking bubble. It was almost everything. Everything was under this, everything was off limits. I couldn't watch the World Cup was on that year. I was like, I don't know, a year into my journey. I couldn't watch it. This is like a family thing that we always did together. I said, fuck it, I'm going to come. My brother's like, man, why don't you come, man? This is our family thing. That people didn't understand. They thought this was a choice that I made because I didn't, right? People didn't understand that the food that I couldn't eat wasn't something that I didn't want. And of course, you're going to get judged with all the sensitivities you go through. This whole journey is a big you're going to be judged a lot. You're going to deal with a lot of resistance, right? So people will be like, why aren't you eating them? Just eat, man. Don't be a weirdo. Eat the chocolate cake. Like, listen. And then you have to go through the spiel, right? I can't. What do you mean? Just eat it. I love chocolate cake. Okay, well then eat it. Just have a bite at least. No. Right? Or, hey, do you want the spicy sausage or the regular sausage? Can I just get the one without... I'll just get a burger without the bun. Right? Saying shit like that in a family barbecue with the in-laws there. They're Italian. They're going to judge you. They're going to think you're fucked. But if they knew the real me, they would see, dude, I could fucking eat everything under the table. I could eat you under the table. I could eat the hottest fucking shit if you only knew me, but I can't right now. So you're going to have to wait on that. And one day we're going to have a fucking eating contest, and I will have fucking justice, right? I'm going to do another video about justice. This is more about it's normal to not do those functioning things, family things. Don't think you're, this is crazy. It is crazy, right? But do what you got to do, man. Like, I couldn't do any of the family functions for 2 years. And when I finally did the third year, I did it, but I was surviving through most of it. Right? I was able to eat a couple of foods, and I just kind of, I didn't announce it, right? That's another thing. You got to keep this a secret. You can't be telling people what you're doing. You can't be like, oh yeah, I got SIBO. I have leaky gut. So people will be like, right? If you start doing that shit, then game on. You deserve to be fucking made fun of, right? Don't be like that, right? Don't fucking start telling people, yeah, I'm doing this online program where we rewire our brain. Right? And you have to feel your emotions. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm working with this group online. It's brain retraining, create neural paths. And people are like, okay, well, why? What do you need that for? Because I have food sensitivities, I have 2 safe foods. I have pelvic floor pain. Pelvic floor, I can't poop, right? I pee a lot. What did the doctors say? Nothing. They just said I have pelvic floor. What was your diagnosis? I didn't really. Well, I have ulcerative colitis, and I'm doing this. Oh, okay. Well, you should just probably just take your meds. Take your meds. Listen to the doctor. Right. So you're just taking this random. Yeah, it's it's a mind body. I'm dealing with a lot of symptoms. I have anxiety. Oh, okay. Yeah, anxiety. Yeah, we get it, right? So you're gonna deal with. Don't fucking tell anybody. Keep it to yourself. Right. We are so sensitive in the beginning, you have to create a bubble. And for those that are new to this channel, right, I had 75 symptoms plus. I had a perfect storm, right? Something had to give. I had a nervous breakdown, you can call it, right? So that you can understand. And it's somewhat of the gist was my allostatic, my stress bucket overflowed. Too much shit in my life was happening. And I wasn't processing this stuff. Normally, you're supposed to process this stuff, but we were never taught it, right? And then my survival state was at the red zone. I was constantly surviving. I was stuck in a state of fight or flight. I was running a program of survival. I was in dis-ease instead of ease, right? So it took me 3 years to fully recover all my symptoms, and some of them are pretty fucked up, pretty gnarly. Right, and I did all the doctor things. I took all the supplements. I tried all the other things. Worked with naturopaths, functional medicine doctors. I did all the things. All the things. Some of them helped a little bit. Some of them helped manage. Right? Certain diets helped manage. And then there came a point where nothing worked anymore. Anything that I would do would make things way worse. So 75 symptoms, I thought I was dying every other day, suffering. I had 2 safe foods. I had a long list of bullshit, right? And it took me, I finally found the thing that worked, the mind-body space. I did the work every day. I used the allow method. And I finally got to recovery. It took me 3 years of doing the work every day, every second of the day. Right? Even in my sleep, when I was hijacked. Guess what I was doing there? I was allowing to the best of my ability. Right? And then after the dream, after you wake up, you're still mesmerized and freaking out about the dream. I did the same thing. So 24/7 dealing with these crazy symptoms. And I finally had the answers going through this journey. It was hard, but I fully recovered. And what I do on this channel, The Mindful Gardener, is I try to share my experiences, how I felt when I was in the trenches, what I did, the mistakes I made, what didn't work, and what did work, and the people I had in my circle that were going through the same deal, some patterns I've seen, right? How certain theories technically made sense, but when you put them into action, it didn't apply, right? So I like to talk about all these things. And I also like to motivate people to stick to the work so they don't give up, so they can get their lives back and get to recovery. At least my goal is to get people, at minimum, to have all their symptoms go away so they can live life again, right? After that, it's on you, right? This whole journey is actually on you, right? This is self-directed. You just take what I teach and you apply it to yourself. But where I stop is when you're fully recovered, living life. If you want to go deeper with the trauma, right, or the shadow work, right, you can do that by yourself. You can go find somebody else, right? Generally, we cover that here, but we don't go too deep into it. Like most people don't think they even need to after. But if you want to, be my guest, giver, have fun. My goal is just to bring you to get your life back. No more symptoms. See you later. Have a good life, right? So anyway, back to the subject. So you got to create a bubble. And some of the things you might keep out of that bubble, right, are certain friends, family members. With them, what I would say is tell them you're dealing with anxiety and that you're going to start having less phone time and that you need to focus on yourself. It's not them, it's you, but you need their help. So you kind of manipulate them. When you tell somebody that you want them to stay away from you, if you say it in a way that makes them think they're helping you. Because I've tried it where I tried to say, yo, I got to get out of this WhatsApp group chat, because I had WhatsApp group chats with a bunch of my friends, right? And I couldn't do it anymore. It was too much. It was actually triggering. So I told them, yeah, I got to get out of here. I got to focus on my journey. What do you mean, what journey? What do you mean? You don't have that. Dude, trust me. You got to relax, right? They tell you all the things. They make you doubt what you're doing. They're right? They're the laggards in your life also. So you got to find a way not to tell them, hey, it's you piece of shit. That's why I'm fucking that's why I'm half my allostatic loads is full, because of you, people at work, plus my ex-girlfriends, plus you know, all the ex-narcissist people in my life and my, right? You're not going to do that. So you got to say, I actually going to need some time, and I'm going to, give me a year. Please help me out with this by understanding, and then we'll get back together and we'll hang out. Yeah, no problem. So you got that going. Okay, one less thing in your bubble. What else? The news. Stop watching the news. Stop watching politics. Maybe get off of Facebook for 2 years. Maybe certain family members, keep them at a distance, but don't cut them off, because if you cut certain people off, they drag you back in and then they activate you. So you gotta find that sweet spot balance. Check in on them. They go, hey, how's it going? I love you. I'm busy. I'm going for my walk. Okay, bye. Right? Talk about things that you both love. Don't leave it open for them to push your buttons and then you gotta reply, and then there you go. You're in a fight, especially with your mom, or if you have that type of relationship with your mom or your dad. Be aware of that, because it could put you in a setback, for like 2 weeks. So there's that. If you're in a toxic work environment, get out. The best that, of course, you got to find another job and then get out when you can. For me, I couldn't work. I wasn't able to work, so that's one less thing for me to worry about. So there's the toxic friends. Get out of the toxic marriages and relationships. Right, block Facebook. What else is there? Social media. Yeah, and then, certain things that you're just not ready to do yet. You create a bubble. Well, I felt like I was in the 1800s living in Alaska. Right? I felt like it was fascinating. I didn't watch TV anymore. The only TV I watched was at nighttime when we're going to sleep, and we'd watch old classics like Little House on the Prairie or Highway to Heaven or Friends, and I wasn't really paying attention to it. It was just kind of playing in the background, right? But other than that, I stopped watching TV. I was out in nature every day. I was constantly walking. I was living this like I was living out in the boonies in Alaska, even though it was in the city, right? I didn't go to any family functions, and I felt bad for that, because people thought I was, I didn't like them, or where's your husband, or is Helmut coming for a? Oh, come on, Helmut, you need to come. Come on, you need to get out of the house and need to do things. Come on, right? There was pressure, but I wasn't ready. For the first 2 years, there's no, right? People would come by for Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's. Not so much New Year's. Like birthdays, other people's birthdays, right? I stayed away from everything. Right? I was a nobody. I was I felt like a total distant person, and I didn't like the feeling. But it was just easier. I didn't want to deal with anybody. And I'd get too activated, too much. Also the food, the pressure, the judgment. Right? But I also had to deal with not going and looping on that. And feeling bad because my wife wouldn't bring me and she'd be by herself in these functions. And right? So we'll be doing an interview with that, with how my wife's point of view of everything. So yeah, if you're not able to do all those things, just know it's just a temporary thing. I know when you don't get to do these things, it makes you sad. And it makes you feel like, man, I would give anything. I'd give anything if I could sit with my dad and my mom and my brother and have a beer, even though he doesn't drink beer, but right? And just shoot the shit. Talk stupid. Have a piece of pumpkin pie. Enjoy the pumpkin pie. Not get a reaction. Right? Sit with the family, laugh, just sit with them. Talk about anything. Talk about, wait, what'd you do last week? Oh, the van. Are you working on the van? How's that going? Yeah, I missed the van. Oh yeah, just talking about the van. Right? So you go through like grief. And it makes it even harder. It gives you more doubt. It makes you think, man, that's not fair. I'm never going to have that again. Christmas, beautiful time. Right? You're only enjoying it by yourself at home. Yeah, the wife is there, but you're not going anywhere. You're not leaving the house. You're not celebrating or doing anything, really. Decorations are there. Yeah, that's nice. But you're not even enjoying the decorations. You wish you could. And you miss them, and you start to realize how much you took all these decorations for granted, and you start to put them in your visuals going, I can't wait to start to enjoy the environment that I'm in and to sift through the deliciousness of life. Savor it. This is where you can't wait to recover. This is where even going to the store would be the best experience of your life. Because we take life for granted. And we get used to feeling mediocre through life. So when you get really sick and you're stuck in this chronic state, and you look at the contrast of, what normal is like, it makes you sad. But it also feels like a carrot at the end of the stick, right? It also gives you something to work towards. It gives you a target. You think to yourself, okay, I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do, what I'm missing right now for another 3 years. Okay, this year's pretty much over, so fuck it. 2 more years. 2 more years! And I'm going to be doing all those things, and I hope nobody dies so that I can still hang out with them and do that thing. I can't do it now. Realistically, I can't do it now. I want to enjoy it. I want to be able to enjoy it without having that taint, that cloud over my head. Right? Just like when I went to the beach 3 times a week. Beautiful beach. To myself. Nobody's around. Water's calm. And it felt like I was in hell. I couldn't wait for the day that I would go to the beach. And I would just feel neutral and be like, wow, right now, this present moment, I am fucking in bliss. Look at that water. Like, sometimes I remember when I started coming out of getting out of my journey into normal life, I would kind of speak what I felt when I saw it. I'd be like, oh, look at that water. It's so beautiful. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the air. Oh, man, that's so nice. Like, it felt like I just got out of a coma, right? And people are like, yeah, it's nice, but it's pretty nice, but okay, you're a little dramatic, aren't we? Like, come on, like, right? But it's like, no, like, really, look at the water. Look at how beautiful it is. Let's get in the water. Oh, it's cold, but it's refreshing. I'm freezing, but it's refreshing. I feel like I woke up from a dream. I feel so alive. I feel, right? So, you're going to go through that. And it's going to suck. It's going to hurt. But remember, at that time, you won't realize you need to go through that because it's the contrast. You need to be in the dark to see the light. You can't see the light unless there's a dark around. You need the contrast of what the hurt, the grief, for you to really appreciate when you get out of recovery, like when you're recovered and you have the freedom, boy, are you going to really appreciate it. When you have that beer, because you can, when you have that tomato sauce with the pasta, the penne pasta, yeah, give me some more Parmesan. You know what? Can you put some hot chili peppers, the hot one? Give me 2. Thank you. Because I can. Chocolate, ice cream, let's do it. Oh, the sausages, the spicy ones, I'll have 3. And I'm going to eat all of them. Do you want to have a fucking spice sausage eating contest? I'll eat it, right? Justice comes. Justice will come. But it's not just about the justice. That's a whole different video. It's about having that freedom. It finally came. You worked for it. You're living that reality. And you're savoring every moment. You're going to get there. It's going to happen. So don't be so hard on yourself right now. It's all temporary. Create a bit of a timeline. I know it goes against the rules. I did. I broke those rules. I created a timeline, a couple of them. I used to have a notebook that I would draw in while I was doing my visuals. And one of my visuals one day was create a timeline. That's it. That's all I did is I talked about the timeline. Yeah, when I expect this to go away, that to go away, when I'm expect to do family functional things, and when I expect to blue, blue, blah, blue, blue, and then I expect to live out in the West Coast by a lake near the mountains, when I expect to blah, blah, blue, blue. Right? I was literally manifesting. So, create a timeline. Just do it. You're going to get triggered every day anyway. It doesn't matter if the timeline triggers you a little bit. Fuck it. Just create it. Right? And it's a timeline-ish. You're setting goals. And guess what? The timelines that I made, I was able to nail it. I would say 95% of it. Dead on. Right? You project a timeline in your head, the brain gets ready for it. That's why we're doing visuals also. You're preparing the brain and the body to update. So, you become it. If you want to be it, you have to act it. Be it. And you will be it. That's it. So, it's just temporary. You need to actually feel the sadness, the loss, the grief of not being able to do those things so that you feel grateful again. Because when you recover, right, you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be like sipping on the gold, right? I don't know if you sip on gold, but you know what I mean? The nectar of life. You're going to get there, I promise. If you do the work every day, never miss a day, you're going to fully recover. That's not even a thing.